forgot my coffee. Hey guys, it's Kai, and I'm so glad you're here.
Why are you such a coffee cat?
Today I iced my coffee because I decided to be smart. Instead of making myself sweat more and then eventually giving up on it, I figured I'd just put it on ice. And it's been a great idea so far. This is my second cup. It's actually midnight now and I just rearranged my entire room. Hello, did you notice? There's a new background. It's been a day today. So I was originally low-key planning on doing like a thrift haul today, which who am I? I don't do thrift hauls, but I was like low-key thinking about doing it, and by low-key I mean like that's what I was planning on doing when I was doing my makeup. And then I just kind of decided that I felt more like doing story time. A thrift haul is something that I may or may not wind up doing in the future. I just wanted to do it today because I went to the thrift store, I got some cool things like this little fairy container and this literal coffee grinder. Like, it works, it squeaks a little, but it works, and it's got a little door where the grounds come out, and I love it so much. I used it earlier to make myself some coffee, and it's weird because it's like a little bit coarse, but it works still, and I love it. There's like suddenly music and like yelling outside, and it's a Wednesday night, and this does not happen, and I pulled out my camera, and now there's somebody like banging on my neighbor's door saying like, come on, open it, is it open, let me in. But anyway, so let me know if you guys are actually interested in seeing that thrift haul, because that was part of it. I was like, well, I don't really know because I don't put things out like that on my channel. I do want to film it at some point. I don't really feel like filming it right now, but if I did film it and put it up, would you guys watch it? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, you clicked on the story because hello, I'm gay. That's the whole reason, that's it. So I'm gay, so bye. No. But you clicked on this video for the story time. I actually wore my rainbow highlight in, I don't remember words, but I put a rainbow on my face basically because this is a gay story time and I'm very excited about it. No homophobia in the comments. If you post a homophobic comment, I'm just gonna delete it. Like, it's not gonna do anything. It is what it is, so yeah. For real, what is going on out there? I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the story time. I know who am I, not a 10-minute long intro. What was that? I don't know. I like how I want people to subscribe, but then I like tell them things like this in the beginning of my videos, like, oh, I'm a piece of shit and I make 10-minute long intros, but subscribe. Actually, we say subscribe here because I'm a derp and don't know how to speak. That actually used to be part of my outro. This is not the, see, I jinxed myself by talking about my 10-minute intros and suddenly I want to make one, so let's just get into the story time. I talked about this a little bit in my sexuality video where I kind of just like talked about the story of how I figured out that I wasn't straight and all that other stuff. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. I'll try to remember to leave a card up here. Who knows if I'll actually remember, but it will like come up at the end and probably be linked below. The music stuff. Oh, good. Oh, I lied. Just a new song started. Anyway, so by the time that I figured out that I was not straight, I was in college, and at that point I obviously had never dated a girl or kissed a girl or done anything like that, and actually, fun fact, I still have never kissed a girl, which is a little disappointing. Well, okay, actually that's a lie. I did kiss a girl at Pride, but it was, okay. When I went to my first Pride, I like wrote like free kisses all over myself because I just felt like being that bitch. I don't know. I just, you know, and then I wound up kissing a girl who was like actually in a relationship with somebody else, but they were like both there and they were like, yeah, it's cool. And so then she kissed me and I was like, all right, anyway, moving on. I don't know. But that doesn't really count, I don't feel like. So I haven't like actually kissed a girl or anything like that, but at this point I hadn't even gone on a date with a girl. Like, I had swiped right on a bunch of girls on Tinder, but that was the closest I'd ever gotten. Now I had one major crush on a girl, but there was this girl that I had a really big crush on, and this isn't even important to the story. You know, we were talking like every single day. She would come to the coffee house all the time that I worked at, which was on our college campus, and so like she was like always in there after we started talking to each other, and I knew who she was, and I'd never really seen her in the coffee shop before that, but she started hanging out in there all the time. I would go talk to her every time I was on a lunch break or, you know, a 15-minute break or something like that, and we would just like, we talked all the time, like almost every single day at that point, and I thought we were in like sort of a flirtationship type thing. I'm not really sure, maybe I misread things. She like winked at me and called me cute and stuff, and I just don't really know how to, but I eventually wound up asking her out, and then she seemed like really shocked by the fact that I asked her out, so maybe we weren't in a flirtationship, but in my brain I thought we were because it seemed like it. I don't really know. I was definitely trying to flirt with her, but I don't know how to flirt with anyone, girls or guys, so my idea of flirting is like, hey, let me like hang around this person and tell them really deep shit about my life, and that's it. And I wonder why I'm still single. Someone please teach me how to flirt. I don't know. But when I asked her out, she was just like, I don't have time for a relationship right now, but I do like you. And she never really specified which kind of like she meant, but she was like, you know, I do want to get to know you more and stuff like that. And so we'll like hang out and we'll talk more, but we never did, because after that we just kind of like, she was not good about texting or messaging back or anything like that. It's more like in person, and I really stopped seeing her in person for the most part because the school year ended and then I moved across the country. Anyway, this story takes place after I'd already asked out that girl, but before I moved. So I was still living in North Carolina at the time. I wonder if I should change her name. I don't know that it really matters, but she's cute, so I want to pick a cute name. Okay, here's the thing, which we only ever went on 2 dates, and we don't really talk much anymore. We still follow each other on Instagram and whatever, but I still think she's really cute, and I think if I still lived in North Carolina, I might have tried to like go on more dates with her eventually, but I don't know. Let's call her, I can't think of a fitting name, so we're just gonna call her Mariana. So I matched with this girl on Tinder literally like right after I figured out that I wasn't straight. You know, I was like just swiping on girls, and I swiped right on her and we matched and we didn't really talk. Oh my god, oh wait, oh I wonder if I could still find it. Oh, there she is. Oh my god, I accidentally found her. I just got really excited. So I matched with her on November 22nd, 2015, and she started off the conversation by just saying hello, and then a day later I said hello, how are you? And then later that day she was like, great, and you? And I was like, I'm doing okay. I've been sleeping at the weirdest hours and I'm now sort of nocturnal. It's not terrible, just very weird. And you know, so we talked a little bit like throughout November, but it was like a few messages a day, or sometimes we'd go a couple days without talking. This is crazy. I literally haven't looked at these messages in forever. So at this point, like the last 2015 message that we sent, she had said like, oh, I'm sorry, that's unfortunate, blah, blah, are you gonna move? That's probably better than living with someone you don't like. And I was like, it definitely is, and yeah, I actually have a friend in Dallas, North Carolina who needs a roommate and also happens to go to my school, so we can carpool and stuff, because I was talking about a bad living situation. And I think there's actually part 1 of a story time up on that on my channel. I'll link it if I remember, but I need to tell more stories about that place because that was, anyway. But I had said, how about you though? How have you been? And she didn't respond, and that was okay because I was also like not really on Tinder at that point much. And so on December 1st, 2016, she messaged me, hey, it's been almost exactly 1 year since we matched on Tinder. And then on Thursday, December 5th, oh, it's weird that that was also, those were both Thursdays, but on Thursday, December 15th, 2016, I said, oh my god, it has. Wow, really shows how bad I am at following through, LMAO. And then on December 26th, 2016, she said, me too, love, me too, ha ha ha. And then on December 27th, I said, lol, lol, lol. And then we didn't say anything. And then on December 30th, I just randomly, I remember we were like sitting in Connor's living room, and my sister was over, and I don't know, we were just like hanging out and watching TV, actually watching Bob's Burgers, which is what made me think of it. And because she had on her profile at the time that she loved Bob's Burgers, and I love Bob's Burgers, obviously I was watching it, I randomly messaged her on December 20th, hey, do you want to watch Bob's Burgers together sometime? And she just responded, I'd really like that. Also, here's my number. And I said, awesome, I'll text you. And that's it. That's where our Tinder conversations end. You know, when the coffee finally cools down from the ice. Ugh. However, unlike my coffee, our relationship had started to heat up. The transition though. I don't know why, but I kind of felt like Matthew Santoro doing it like that, like, but our relationship was starting to heat up. I'm going on a tangent. So, we did start texting. We were talking like pretty much every single day. Usually we'd send like, you know, we'd like have a conversation, or like it would just be like little texts here and there, but like we were talking like every single day. We never actually got together to watch Bob's Burgers, which is just ironic because that's how the whole thing like wound up starting, but maybe then it would have lasted. I'm just kidding. Actually, she has a girlfriend now and they're really cute, but I digress. So eventually I wanted, and I don't have these texts because I have a different phone than I had back then, so I'm just kind of going off of memory here. But I did wind up texting her eventually, and I realized I'm the one that asked her out every time, I'm pretty sure. Which is weird for me because I'm not that person. Like, I mean, yeah, I'll like put my shit out there after I've waited for long enough for like the other person to do something. I'll like put it out there and wait, but I'm not very like, hey, like, can I take you out? Like, I'm like, hey, can you take me out? Hey, can you take me out? And that's not just because I'm broke, that's just who I am. Anyway, but so I wound up asking her out. I was like, hey, like we should hang out, we should do something, like I'm free on Friday, are you free? And she actually went to college in the same city as me, but it was like the college that my brother went to, which is kind of ironic. I didn't go to the same college as my brother, but my college and my brother's old college were about 30 to 45 minutes away, and my brother's college is where Mariana was going. I almost used her real name, which I don't think would matter again, but whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter if I say the school name. She went to UNCC, so if you know where that is. So I drove to UNCC and I met up with her because she didn't have a car, was the thing. She was a freshman in college, which was like a little weird to me, but I was also young for my grade, so it wasn't like super odd. She was like 19 at the time. Okay, what the fuck? My fridge is suddenly being very loud and I'm not a fan of it. So I went to UNCC to go pick her up because she didn't have a car at the time. She was a freshman in college. And so yeah, so I was just gonna drive down there. It wasn't really a big deal. I lived at the time like 45 minutes away from my school, but I also lived about the same distance from UNCC. It was just like a slightly different route, I don't know. But so I drove up there and we were going to go to a hookah bar, and she had never been to one, and it was funny because she kept like treating it like it was like drinking alcohol or smoking weed or something like that. She's like, well, I've never done it before, and like I don't know if it's like gonna make me high or whatever. And I was like, it's I was like, it's not gonna make you high, like it's just like water vapor with like a little bit of tobacco in it and stuff. So like it does kind of make you feel a little buzzy, but it doesn't like get you high or alter your state of mind or anything like that, which is why like in North Carolina all you have to do is be 18. She was 19 actually, because we had to like look up which hookah bars, because I think some of them were like 21 and up, but that one was only 18 and up. What the fuck are they doing next door? So I went to this hookah lounge, and I immediately, I mean in person she's just as cute as she is in her pictures. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is great. She was like also very excited to meet me, and it was really cute. She called me cute a bunch of times, and I was a happy bean. So we got to the hookah place, and you know, we got a place, and it was so funny because the place was entirely empty. Like there were like 2 or 3 tables being taken up, and this place was kind of big. I mean, okay, it wasn't like huge, but there were like a bunch of tables, and there were like 2 or 3 being taken up. It was kind of weird, but also really cool because I believe it was a Friday night or a Saturday night. One of the two, I don't really remember. Friday? I don't know. But so anyway, so it was like almost completely empty, and like we got to pick wherever we wanted to sit, so we sat on like 2 little couch things. And by the very beginning of the day, I was already talking about conspiracy theories and like aliens. I'm sorry, it's who I am. Also at the time I was like extra into Shane Dawson's conspiracy theories, and that's about when I was like making the poppy videos and talking about like, oh, I'm gonna make an alien video because I think I may have been astrally abducted when I was a kid a bunch of times. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a video on that, but we'll see. I might. The whole reason is just because of the psychic twins, and it triggered things, and not the place to talk about this, but anyway. But we got food and we just kept sitting around talking, and it was great, you know? The only reason we actually ended the date was because it was like getting toward 2 a.m. and we were both like starting to get really tired, and I was like, I still gotta drive home. We should probably end this date today. And so I took her back to her dorm, and because I like drove her and just like dropped her off, I didn't really get a chance to like walk her to her door or anything because I didn't have anywhere to park. We like awkwardly hugged as she was like getting out of the car, and I like had been thinking about it beforehand, and I was like, should I go for a kiss? I don't know how to go for a kiss. Does she want to go for a kiss? I'm nervous. This is a first date. I don't know if that's a thing that people do all the time. I don't know. I'd also never been on an actual first date without already having been dating the person. It was just a whole new experience for me. So she just like, you know, we awkwardly hugged, and then she got out of the car, and then I was like giddy the whole ride home. And then we were texting a little bit more, you know, for a little while later, and then like a couple weeks later we decided to go on another date. I know this is called like my first date with a girl, but I also want to tell you about the second one because we only ever went on 2 dates, and the first date was just like cute and normal, and then the second one was kind of like crazy. So we actually wound up going to an art museum in Charlotte, and we actually met up because she was with her parents or something that weekend, and her mom was like gonna drop her off and pick her back up afterward. So we like met up at an art museum in Charlotte. And it was funny because I got there first and I waited for her, and we like hugged hello and whatever. And whenever we went to like start the tour, they told us that there were like 2 floors that were closed, or maybe it was just one, maybe it was just a small museum. But there were floors that were closed that we could not go into, and they were like, but you know, they'll open up again at another time, and they give us like a voucher for the future. And so we're like, oh cool, maybe, you know, we can set up another date after this one to go back and see it for free, you know? And they were like, yeah. So that was like low-key the plan. And so we like walked through the art museum, but it was so small. Like The floors that they had didn't have that much in there. There wasn't that much to do, and I mean, we had planned on hanging out for like a few hours, and it literally like 20-30 minutes went by and we were like, I mean, that's it. But, you know, again, I lived 45 minutes from Charlotte and I was like, I want to hang out for longer, you know, if we're gonna like make this a thing, like especially second date, like getting closer to like the dating stage and hanging out more stage and things like that. So I was like, I don't want to just spend 20 or 30 minutes here, so like, let's go do something else. So firstly, I just wanted coffee because, I mean, I'm coffee cat for a reason. I basically just need coffee and an IV. I just always want coffee. And also I'm an employee, and so I was like, we can get that discount and whatever, until we went and I recommended something. I remember it was really funny because she was like, I don't really come to Starbucks often, like what do you think I should get? Probably just trying to be like, well, you work here, so hee hee, you know, get me something. And I don't even remember what it was that I recommended to her. It was some like coconut drink that was like new at the time. Oh, the toasted coconut cold brew, that's what it was. I was obsessed with that when it came out, by the way. But I was just like, oh, that's really good. And like was waiting for her to like tell me more things that she liked in coffee, and she was just like, okay, and she got it. And it was so funny because I noticed she took like a couple sips when she got it and then just didn't touch it again the rest of the time, and I felt bad. I was like, I should have asked more questions because that means she didn't like it. But we like sat in Starbucks for a little bit talking, and then we decided to walk around some. Because, you know, we were in the downtown area of Charlotte, which is like where all the cool, fun, quirky stuff is. I don't know. And we were bored. She still had a little bit of time until her parents were supposed to come get her, like an hour and a half, something like that. So we were just kind of like walking around, and then so we were walking and we passed like the little Discovery Center, and we like played with the stuff outside, and then we like started to keep walking, and then we saw a car get broken into. So there was this like car parked, you know, parallel parked on the sidewalk, right? And there's this like lady who's holding a baby, and there's this dude with her with like a long coat hanger that he's like straightened out, and they're like kind of darting and looking around like, don't look at us, don't look at us. And this guy just like jams the coat hanger in the window and plays around with it just a little bit, and then they get in the car and they start to drive away. And Mariana like took a picture of the license plate, and I was like, I don't know, maybe they locked themselves out of their car, I don't know. It did look sketchy though, but I'm not sure. And she took a picture of their license plate and she was like, we should call the police. And I was like, I guess that is the right thing to do. And so on my second date with this girl, we spent a lot of the time making a police report, and then we like hung out in that area waiting for cops to show up so we could talk to them and tell them what we saw. We didn't actually get a clear picture of the license plate or anything like that. We just had like a vague description of the car, and like it was a guy and a girl and a baby. That was pretty much it. After that, we were both just kind of like hot and a little bit tired, and I think the mood was thrown off by like making a police report, and so we just kind of walked back to the art museum and kind of just hung out in the lobby until her parents showed up. And yeah, I mean, we hugged goodbye, but we didn't like, you know, I didn't want to kiss her because like it wasn't like her parents, it was her mom and her aunt, and they were in the car like waiting outside, and I like walked her part way out there, and then we like stopped in the middle to hug, and I was like, I don't want to just like kiss her in front of her mom. So I didn't, and I didn't even try, and I don't know, it was awkward. And then I told her later on at one point, after it had been like a few weeks or something like that, I had like drank some wine, and I was just like texting her, and you know, when you drink wine, you're just more honest. And I was texting her and I was like, yeah, well, I kind of wanted to kiss you after our second date, but I didn't really know if I should, and you know, your mom was right there, and I didn't know if you wanted me to. And she was like, well, I wish you would have. And I was like, oh, okay, well then maybe I will next time I see you. And then I never saw her again. Honestly, all that happened is that we just kind of like, we were texting a little bit, and then it just kind of fizzled out for no real reason. We just stopped responding. I'm not always good at texting anyway, because like a lot of the time, like text notifications or notifications on my phone, if they're like too much or at the wrong time or whatever, it'll give me anxiety. And so a lot of the time I'll turn my phone and do not disturb. So sometimes it takes me 10 million years to respond to things. Remy can attest to this, I'm sorry. And it's like a thing that happens a lot, and I think that probably, you know, put a wedge in and made me seem disinterested, which I was not, Mariana. If you're watching this, I was not disinterested. I'm just a piece of shit. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to tell a cute, fun little story, because I was thinking about that recently, because, you know, I haven't been on too many dates in my life, and I have been on even less gay dates in my life. There is one weird one that I want to talk about at some point, but not here. Actually, that one started at a Taco Bell and then ended in a vape shop, which is kind of close to a hookah lounge, but not really. Later. But anyway, that's all for this week. Sorry, I'm just a little... that's all for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, especially to this week's shout out of the week, who is going to be across the screen right here. I love you. You're the bomb, and you're the best. And what are other great adjectives? I don't know. But they're all you. If any of you want to be shout out of the week, all you gotta do is be active on my socials, especially Twitter, because I'm on there the most, but especially also on YouTube, so I can link your channel at the end of my videos. And you could be featured in a video. That's really all it takes. Anyway, guys, that's all for now. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give me those thumbs, and share this video if you like me, or even if you don't, just share it maybe. And in the comment section down below, tell me about your first date, and if it applies, tell me about your first gay date, or just tell me about gay things, okay? This is just a gay video. Hello, we're all gay here. Well, technically I'm bi, maybe pan, but you know, that's not the point. I generally just say I'm gay because it's just easier. But anyway, guys, that's all for now. Stay cool, my dudes, and I will see you in the next one.
Why are you such a copycat?
I cannot express to you how good it feels to officially have a set place to film. Holy crap. This apartment, I keep just like moving around with wherever I feel like it, and every single time I'm so frustrated. I'm like, well, I could do over there, but there's this, or I could do over there, but this, that. Or I could just film, but I can't because I can't talk. But I don't know, I'm really pleased with this. I'm loving how this is looking. Please share any thoughts down below. And yeah, I'm a happy guy. And again, do you guys want to see a thrift haul?